Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most critical contests of our time, the artificial intelligence race between the United States and China. I mean, we're talking about a shift that's redefining everything: the balance of power, economic dominance, even what it means to be a superpower.
So let's kick things off with a pretty stark warning. And this comes from the CEO of NVIDIA, the company that's literally at the heart of this entire AI revolution. And he's basically saying that everything is on the line. I mean, the stakes, they could not be higher.
Look, AI isn't just another app on your phone or some new gadget. No, it's quickly becoming the actual foundation of global power. This has gone way beyond a race between companies. We're now in a full-blown race between nations.
So you've got these two heavyweights in the ring. In one corner, the incumbent, the USA, who's been the king of the tech world for decades, right? But in the other corner, you have the challenger, China. And they're not just emerging. They're moving at a speed that, honestly, the world has just never seen before.
Okay, so how do we even begin to wrap our heads around a competition this massive and complex? Well, that same NVIDIA CEO laid out a really brilliant and simple framework for understanding exactly where this fight is happening.
He calls it the AI cake. Yeah, a 5-layer cake. It's a super simple metaphor, but it's incredibly powerful. And the idea is this: the nation that masters all 5 of these layers, well, that's the nation that's going to win this whole thing.
All right, let's break down this cake. So at the very bottom, the absolute foundation, you've got energy. Can't do anything without it. Then sitting on top of that, you have the chips. Then comes the infrastructure, then the actual AI models. And right at the top, you've got the applications, the stuff you and I actually use every day.
Okay, so we're going to start at the bottom of that cake and work our way up. And let me tell you, this is where things get really interesting, because this is where the story you think you know about the AI race, well, it gets completely flipped on its head.
Right out of the gate, that first layer, energy. China has a jaw-dropping advantage. We're not talking a few percentage points here. They produce double the energy of the United States. Just let that sink in. To power the future of AI, you need a mind-boggling amount of energy, and China's already got twice the capacity.
And it's not just about what they have now. It's about the speed they're building more. It's just staggering. AI data centers are incredibly power-hungry, right? Well, China is adding new capacity to fuel them at a breakneck pace. Look at this. In just 1 year, they added more than 8 times the new energy capacity that the US did. 8 times!
Okay, moving up 1 layer to infrastructure. And again, China's speed here is just a total game changer. In the US, it can take, 3 years to get a new data center up and running? Meanwhile, you've probably seen the stories of China building entire hospitals in a weekend. Well, guess what? They apply that same unbelievable speed to building out their AI infrastructure.
But what about the actual technology itself? I mean, this is where America has always had the clear lead, right? The undisputed advantage, especially when it comes to the really high-end stuff. But even here, the story's getting a lot more complicated. So when we talk about chips, yeah, America's tech is still light years ahead, no question. They design the most powerful, most sophisticated chips on the planet. But, and here's the catch, China is the world's factory. They are the manufacturing powerhouse. And with all that cheap energy and just massive scale, their ability to churn out chips efficiently is a massive strategic advantage.
Now let's talk about the AI models themselves. This is where the story gets really nuanced. So the US absolutely dominates when it comes to those big, advanced proprietary models, like GPT, the closed-off, super powerful ones. But when you look at the world of open source models, China is just pulling way, way ahead.
And you can't sleep on open source. It is absolutely crucial. Why? Because it lets everybody, universities, startups, even individual scientists get their hands dirty, build new things, and innovate like crazy. It's basically the engine for widespread progress. And yeah, right now, China is crushing it in that space.
So, okay, the bottom of the cake, the foundation, is obviously critical. But this race isn't just going to be won in a lab. You see, those final layers, the top of the cake, how the technology is actually used and adopted by society, well, that might just be the most decisive part of this entire competition.
And this is where you see a truly massive difference in thinking. It's night and day. In China, you have this huge optimism. 80% of people think AI is going to be a good thing. Meanwhile, in the US, it's the complete opposite. 80% are afraid of it. Think about what that means for how quickly a country adopts a new technology. It's huge.
History actually gives us a perfect example of this. Think about electricity. The UK invented it, but who won? The United States.
Why? Because they were the ones who adopted it the fastest. They put it in their factories, their cities, their homes. So the big takeaway here is that being the inventor doesn't guarantee you win. The country that moves the fastest, the adopter, often reaps all the rewards.
And then there's the people, the human talent. To fuel its AI ambitions, China is building an absolutely incredible base of experts. I mean, look at these numbers. They're almost hard to process. They've got the top universities, they're churning out half the world's AI researchers, and filing the vast majority of patents. They're building the human infrastructure to lead for decades.
At the exact same time, the U.S. is making a huge strategic choice. It's effectively cutting itself off from China's market. We're talking about the second largest AI market in the world, with over 1 billion users. When you do that, you're starving your own AI models of a gigantic pool of data and users, and that could really slow down your own progress.
But this is really important. This race is not over, not by a long shot. This isn't a done deal. There is absolutely still a window of opportunity for the United States to get back to basics and fix those foundational weaknesses.
So what would that comeback look like? Well, it means going right back to the bottom of that AI cake. First, you have to fix the energy grid, make energy cheap and plentiful again. Second, you bring manufacturing back and you use AI itself to supercharge that process. And third, you have to lean into America's unique strengths, that incredible innovation ecosystem and its network of global partners. Because let's be crystal clear about what's at stake here. This isn't just about economic leadership or some kind of tech bragging rights. It's much, much bigger than that. A nation's superpower status is directly tied to its leadership in technology. You lose one, you're pretty much guaranteed to lose the other.
So that really brings us back to the final critical question. And I'll leave you with this. Given everything we've seen, China's incredible foundational strengths in energy and infrastructure, and America's powerful edge in advanced tech, who do you think is going to win the AI war? Because whoever does, well, they're going to shape the world for all of us for generations to come. Thanks for watching.